we are doing the streaming connection to Zoom. So to YouTube,
YouTube.
sorry. So once that is done, then we'll kick off. Kick off.
All right. Bye. I'll have to mute that. So where is it? Sorry, just a minute. I'm looking for it now. That's that.
This is it. I need to pull it out so I can see my it's illustrated.
To post. Yeah, it's going on.
Yeah, it's to mute.
All right.
I'm not saying that. I thought that's the right thing to do.
Last time I posted,
Mm.
but this will not let people hear us.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Ah,
let's go on.
all right. So give it a go.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are so excited to be here. And today we are going on another journey with another beautiful couple. But before I dive into the couple, that we have today, we want to welcome everyone who have joined us. We are going to have more people, join us. But we say big welcome to, Joy. Thank you, Modupe. Thank you, Olasukomi. Thank you for joining. And I can assure you that you are in for a great time today. So this is Thriving Marriages. And what we do here is listen to the stories of couples who have, yes, you're welcome, Joy. Stories of couples who have committed, who are committed to their marriages and have gone the extra mile to ensure that they are. Please pardon me if I clear my throat as we go on. I'm just recovering from a cold. So so, like I said, so this session is for us to listen to inspiring stories of couples who have, shown exceptional commitment to their marriages, and they share with us their journey, how it has been for them, what are the obstacles or challenges they've gone through, and the sweet part as well, because marriage is beautiful, marriage is a blessing. And this couple here, they're a beautiful couple, I can tell you, because I've known them from way, 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 way back. Okay, we're going to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves. But before we get there, my name is Uwa, and this is my amazing, handsome husband, the most handsome man in the world. Mm. Ah, anybody can claim your own, but this is the most handsome, the most caring, the most amazing man in the world. And
My name is Dele Agogo.
yes, we've been married for 23 years. We have three amazing children, and we are professional marriage and family life coaches. So what that means is we deliver services along those value chains, everything marriage, everything relationship. We render services to help diagnose relationship issues. We do premarital and postmarital counseling. We help you put systems and structure in place to build a sustainable and thriving family governance system. And we do a whole lot, even parenting counseling. I mean, just think of relationship before you get married, after you get married, and all that, the entire value chain, we are in there rendering valuable service to you to ensure that your marriage and your family thrive. And that's our vision. Together, we run Yedela Family Institute here in the UK. I mean, we operate from here in the UK, but our reach is very much global. So wherever you are, you can always reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you figure out your relationship issues, and not just figure them out, also provide to you time-tested solutions. Okay. And then some of the things we also do is we run monthly programs to add value to marriages. So we do them on alternate months.
Yes.
So this month we're having Chinwe and Godwin, talk to us about their marital journey. The next month we'll take on a topical issue. It could be on communication, it could be on conflict resolution, and we, teach on it to show people how, to overcome marriage and relationship issues. But today, I always enjoy thriving marriages
Yeah, and I
because
think before we now move further,
mm,
come this Saturday,
yes.
there's actually a webinar.
Yes, I'm going to you're going to have the opportunity to, to talk a lot about that. So, yeah. So today is Thriving Marriages, which is, like I said before, our opportunity for us to listen to amazing couples and share their journey. And today we have Godwin and Chinwe Essien. They're going to introduce themselves. But before they do that, please give Dele a minute or two to talk about the beautiful masterclass he has put together. And that is happening on the 1st of November. So, Dele, what's that masterclass all about and why should people sign up for it?
All right. Thank you very much. We do it on a large scale for free, but this one will come with a token. And even with that token, something that is affordable to everyone. And it's called the Building Strong Family Governance Structures. Building Strong Family Governance Structure. We believe uh, everything you can see in life run on structure. And if we talk about sustainability, when we talk about health, when we talk about preservation, if it's not built on structure, which means intentional way you approach things when it concerns practically anything, practically in any area, marriage, in your career, and in other spectrum or other aspects. System is so key because system is not based on sentiment. System is based on a structure that have a predictable outcome. And that's why we're taking that on with, and it's relevant to parents, it's relevant to counselors, executive leaders, church leaders, administrators, young adults, and singles. And in that webinar, we'll be looking at a template where each one can be adapted in their respective area to suit how people can adopt that or adapt that into their own space as a married couple, as a single person, as a professional. And at the end of the day, you are able to do things with a predictable outcome, at least to a very large extent. We know there are some external factors that might come into play, but the person that is well positioned and prepared stand to succeed through trials and tests of time than someone who just live a reactive life when situation comes in our way. And this also will help move from one generation to the other, because when you sustain something like that, at the end of the day, it goes a long way in bringing sustained success in that regard. But you'll be seeing more of that once you sign up, and we'll be seeing each other 6 p.m. is Saturday, next Saturday. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My husband likes to speak pentagram. Long and short, if you want to build a sustainable family governance system, so much so that you can help your family imbibe your values, and you put your systems in place to help train your children so that when they grow, you are not bothered about, oh, my children are going to mess us up, and how do we do this? Just attend that seminar, okay? I've spoken plenty grammar, but let's go to Chinwe and Godwin. Yeah, and we'll still talk more about the webinar as we go on today. So Chinwe and Godwin, thank you so much for accepting to come on today's program. Are we recording?
No.
But we don't usually record.
It's already on. It's going on YouTube.
Okay.
But I can see hit the record.
If there's no need, then that's fine. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna have it on YouTube, and people can always watch later. And in fact, from data, we see that more people even watch after the program has been done live. So we know that people are going to go. So a big welcome once again to every one of you, Chinwe and Godwin. Now the floor is yours. We are happy that you're here and want to start by saying thank you for coming. Would you please do a brief introduction? Tell us who you are, what you do, and we'll just kind of take on the conversation from here. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Start? Okay. I thought you would start. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good
Good
evening, Pastor
evening.
D and Tua.
Good evening.
Thanks for having us on this. And for a brief introduction, my name is Godwin Essien, and I'm an hydro engineer by training, and I'm married to this amazing, wonderful, and radiant, most beautiful woman in the world for about 15
Amazing.
years now. And
Ooh,
we've been blessed with three amazing, wonderful children, two
beautiful
boys and
children.
a girl. God has been helping us so far, and so far it's been good. So thanks so much for having us. That's me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And apart from the children being amazing, the children are beautiful. Oh my God. You need to see them.
Good evening, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. We're grateful for the privilege, as my husband has just said. I'm Chinwe. I am a professional nurse. I'm currently practicing with the NHS as a Parkinson's clinical nurse specialist. Um, I've been married to my husband I've known him for, well, we've been friends for say over 2 decades, and then we've been married for 15 years going on 16 and counting by God's grace. And yeah, we have three amazing children. God has blessed us in so many ways. And it's a delight to be here this evening. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Some people also welcoming you in the comment section.
Thank
Joy
you.
says, good evening. Apologies, I'm not in a private space. It's okay. Oh, you have a namesake here, Chinwe. The praises touch my soul. Hi, namesake. So Chinwe, Felista is saying hi and she's saying we are namesake. So now let's go to the gist of the day because I'm itching. So we really start by asking how you met. How did love happen? Who said I love you first? I mean, and all those, mushy things. That's how we start. So tell us, how did it happen? How did two beautiful, amazing people like this come together?
You take that first. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to just listen and hear his own version of the whole thing because every time he
Yeah.
shares it is always different, you know? We're saying the same thing, but our story is a bit, every time we share with people, they just wonder. And yes, indeed, it's, how would I say, okay, we met in my hometown. Okay, that was in 2001.
Yeah. 2001.
Yes, 2001. So I was born and bred in the North, but the popular Sharia riots in the year 2000 made my family relocate to my village, somewhere in the eastern part of Nigeria, in Enugu State to be precise. So but I was still in secondary school. I was a teenager at that time. So we came back to my hometown in 2000. And then 2001, this young man here that has refused he never ages. He still looks the same way he was.
Since I've known him.
Just ignore the slight gray. He's always looked this way. Um, so he had just finished uni at that time and was posted to do NYSC in my village. And to say that he didn't want to stay there because my village, we had no lights. It was village. Like when you hear village, there was no development whatsoever. Roads were bad. There was no water. There was nothing. And Lagos boy just said, what am I doing in this place? I can't stay in this place for what? So he wanted to leave. But yeah, me, I wasn't even, I was still in secondary school, like I said, maybe SS1, SS2 or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, he left as he was trying to rework, finding another place to do his NYSC because he cannot stay in the village. He's a last giddy boy. So, so he went away. And I think after some time, he came back towards like the end of their NYSC. And then he actually taught me. So he taught me in secondary school, he taught me biology, yes. So he said he would just keep looking at me in class, like, where did this girl come from? This girl looks different from all the other people in this environment. What is she doing here? He just kept asking himself that question. And there was this language barrier between him and other students in school, because they struggled to speak proper English. So the fact that I could speak good English was also something that left him with that this one not be for me, or why is she not speaking like the others? Anyway, eventually service ended and he left. So I think after service year, you now wrote me a letter when I was preparing for my WAEC. So he wrote me a letter that took like 8 months to get to me. So I remember being in a maths class in my WAEC, preparing for my WAEC when this letter came. And I looked at it, was a letter from him saying how his school, just normal, like caring, concern, hope I'm doing well, how am I preparing for my exams? And I think you were talking about you getting a job. And he then left his sister's number and a number to the office where he started working at the time. So I think that was how we now started. I didn't even get in touch until I left the village eventually after secondary school. But I just kept the number with me. Um, Fast forward when I was now preparing for WAEC, no, sorry, JAM and all those going for JAM classes. I saw a phone booth. There were no phones those days. Like phones were,
Yes.
maybe there were phones, but it was a telecom kind of phone. You had to go to a phone booth. So there were mobiles were quite scarce. So I wasn't even in touch the whole time he wrote me. Of course, I was still in the village. So when I was going to write my JAM, I then came to the city to do some JAM classes. And then one day I saw a phone booth. I was like, let me phone this copper guy that wrote me letter. But but I think when we're back home in the village, there was this attraction that we didn't put anything to it. I know if
Yeah.
I didn't see him in school, I kind of feel someone, like I noticed that he's not there, if you get what I mean. But there was no serious attachment to it. It was just like, why is this guy not in school today? And if me too, I didn't come to school, he also notices that I'm not there. So that was what happened back then. So I thought, okay, I'll call him. Why is he even writing me? So I had this friend who was just telling me that, leave this Lagos boy, he just wants to, but you just don't, he's in Lagos, just leave him alone. Don't even, listen to him. So I think then and I phoned your sister. I think I phoned his sister, phoned his
Okay.
company. Yeah, I think from there, we then kept in touch. Then maybe December, I went to nursing school eventually in 2003. Then there was cyber cafe. We'll now send emails as well. So I was going to the cafe from nursing school every Saturday and just send him an email. Then I didn't also have a mobile. So we communicated via email at that point, and then of course
Yeah.
via phone booths. So I think from then he visited my hometown. He was like, I'm going to come and see you. I'm like, for what? Why are you coming to see me from Lagos to the village? But he came in December of 2003. And I was so excited to see him, like an old friend. Yes, so from there, we then kept in touch via emails. I still didn't have a phone. Um, then he knew about my matriculation in 2004 in nursing school. So he then attended that matriculation. And that was when we actually started our relationship. Like, okay, we want to date each other and we want to. So I was in nursing school at that time. So yeah, fast forward 2010, we then got married. But yeah, so it's
Amazing.
Yeah. Beautifully narrated.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. So all through that time, did he ever say, okay, before I even go there, Godwin, is that your own version? Because I know couples that come here, they always have different versions, and Chinwe has kind of alluded to that before.
Yeah, I would say it's the same version really, no really more difference. But what I'll add to it is that at that time, just as he said, I think it was just divinely orchestrated that we meet because it never crossed my mind that okay, I will stay in that place I was posted to serve way back then. And even as just as you mentioned, I've already started processing my redeployment out of that state. So not ever for once I ever imagined myself that I'll serve there. So I've already started making moves and all that. But just as I said before, it was divinely orchestrated. All the plans and everything that I made just did not work out. And I was like wondering in my head, why are all these plans, even with some good connection that my sister had then, at the Federal Civil Service to work things out for me. But it just did not work out. So at a point,
Mm,
I just got to realize that, or say to myself that God might have something for me there in this place that he wants me to
mm,
stay that I don't know yet. So I just reluctantly just went back after staying several months in Lagos and just okay,
mm,
let me just stay while I'm still hoping that things will work out. So
mm,
fast forward, time was just going and I was just like having to like stay there. And it was more time later that I realized that, oh, actually God wanted me to meet someone, meet this lady there. So that's how I just came to know that, oh, this is God's will for me to stay in that place and have that
mm.
experience and be able to connect with the person that God wants me to do life with. So that
Wow.
is how we met.
Wow. 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 So very beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. So thanks, Felista. So I'm curious, was it when you met for the first time, or was it love at first sight, or is it something that grew over time? At what point did emotions, started getting in, and you started realizing that, oh, I really care about this person? Godwin, you first.
Um, I would say yeah, then when I sighted her for the first time, I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but I think there was a kind of an attraction then that I just said, just as you said, this one is somehow different. There was no as in much emotion at that time, but it was an
Mm,
attraction then. So it was after my service year, you know, that when we just started communicating a year or more than a year after that, I think some emotions started building in. But at that time, there was an attraction. And I just said, oh, that care was there. And
mm,
over time, it built up, and it became more and more stronger. And God was like enforcing it in my mind that, okay, this is the way to go. This is the
mm,
person for you. And it started
mm.
like developing over time. That's how it is.
Yes. So we can say that as we are talking, say you went there to teach biology.
Mm.
So I just
Yeah.
scribble something that I said teaching biology turns into chemistry mix. Just to throw that in there. So, continue.
Yeah, it's a beautiful love story. So, for you, Chinwe, what were the things that you saw in him that are kind of attracted you to him, or I mean, what was the attraction? What that you admired in him? Whether it's physical attraction or character traits that you saw. What were the things that attracted you?
Okay. So um, I think the thing then was that my husband dresses very well. Like he's a
Mm.
good dresser. If you see he's busting out, like so I noticed that then I always like the way he dresses prim and proper, talks in
Mm.
properly, with his belt. He just always looks neat and well kept. And
Mm.
that was an attraction for me, even though I was still young. I wasn't really thinking of, well, as a teenager, there are boy girl thing, but I wasn't keen into going into any relationship.
Mm.
But I was
Mm.
attracted by the way he dresses.
Mm.
And he's quite easygoing. He's gentle. You just see him going jeje. He doesn't want wahala. He's not loud. So I think that was it for me. So you would always notice that he's quietly there, if you
Mm.
notice what I mean. And he's just there like this, like a well brought up person, really. So yeah, that was the attraction. I
That's
think.
beautiful. So who said I love you first? And at what point was it said?
Mm, okay. Let me take this on. It's
Okay.
like a follow-up to the earlier listen that I said then that after a year or more than a year when I visited the town, how the whole thing those like came about, how it dawned on my spirit that okay, this is person for me. When I visited, and I think I've shared this experience with her then
Mm.
that on sighting her on that particular evening when I took a trip down to go and see her, there was something in me on sighting her from a short distance when she was seated
Mm,
close to her mother, and they said there's something in my heart just like told me that Godwin, this is the woman for you. Because
mm,
before that time, I've been like having some kind of doubt over my marital future and all that, what to do, taking a decision on this. So I think that was one of the things that informed my trip there to go and see her.
mm.
And at the point of sighting her, I think I had this calmness in my spirit, this assurance
Mm.
in my spirit that this is the lady, this is the person for you. And that settled it in my heart that
Wow.
I could go ahead and then take that decision and then tell her, make the proposal. So it was particularly on that trip that I made up my mind that this is where God is leading me to. And I felt that peace within me
Mm.
about the choice that I've taken. And I am the one that said it first that I love you and I want to do life with you when I went for her matriculation then. So that was where
Wow.
the whole thing just
Interesting.
started out.
Interesting.
Charlie, I'll say.
Thank you. That's really,
Mm.
a very interesting one because I'm thinking then that when you were still in secondary school or just about leaving secondary school. So right? So were you a bit concerned? Were you apprehensive? Did you think you had the maturity at that time to go into a relationship like that? Were you, I mean, was there any fear or concern that, oh, am I doing the right thing? Is this person really serious? And all that.
Yes. So I think by the time he said that, when he came for my matric, so if you remember, we've been communicating via emails,
Mm,
um, and there were a lot of would just have conversations about life generally,
mm,
upbringing, talk about Christianity. Sometimes just talk. So we knew quite a little bit about ourselves. And me being, I was in nursing school as at the time when he has said this. It was my first year in nursing school. I think then I was
okay.
19 at this time. Yes, I think I was there 19 going to 20 at
Mm,
this time. Well, I accepted it. I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And it was a distant relationship, so he was not always there.
always
He
there.
wasn't even there. So most times it was over the telephone. So eventually, I think he
Mm.
got me my first phone that he posted to me.
Mm,
So I then started using the phone. But before then, someone in my class then got a phone. So this lady, it was her phone that we all used. So in fact, most of my schoolmates today, they knew my husband even before we got married because he was calling regularly. He calls like thrice a day. So the lady through the corridor.
Very
So,
mature.
mm. Oh my God. On
so
another
yeah,
person's
so
phone.
sorry.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
said,
on another,
on
yeah. So
another
she
person's
would
phone.
another person he would call maybe
Mm.
morning. And so we basically knew each other's routines so much because we
Mm,
were communicating frequently. And for me, it was friendship first. Like
mm,
we built more of friendship rather than maybe what you typically would call dating. So it was more
mm,
like I had him as a friend. And he was there. We could talk about anything I could share. So
mm,
I literally knew what he was doing, where he was going. He knew when I'm in
mm,
class, he knew what I was doing and things like that. So it was more
mm,
of friendship at that beginning. That was why I felt safe with it.
mm,
Oh, that was why I ventured into it. But I didn't throw my head into it that okay, this is a do or die thing. I just knew okay, he's a friend. My father actually saw him when he came for my matriculation. And I remember my dad asking me, this copper guy came to the village in December. Now
mhm,
again, he's here. What is he looking for?
What
mhm.
is going on?
Yes.
I remember my dad asking me that. And I'm like, Dad, he's just my friend. I don't know.
Mm,
We're just friends. And my father said, you better be just friends. So yeah,
mm,
but he's someone who my family actually saw. He wasn't hiding. He came to see me in my parents' house. So my parents they know him when he was
mm,
7. And the fact that I was coming back, they were first like, this copper, what are you looking for? So they actually knew he was around me. Yeah.
mm,
So for me, it was more of friendship. And I felt at that age, the thing with me is that I think for some reason, life experiences made me mature quite quickly. So regardless of my age, I kind of think or I believe that I'm a bit more mature when it comes to psychologically and emotionally based on all of the life experiences and being the first daughter as well in my family. So all that has made me, and I opened myself a lot to a lot of books. So I was reading books really early in my life. So I knew, okay, this is what I want. This is the direction this relationship is going. And we had to spell that out. We knew what had to stay off. We knew
Fantastic.
the lines we couldn't cross.
Yeah.
And that was clear. So long as he was ready to stick to the rules, that then we are good. But if at any point it tries to deviate, so he understood that from the get-go, and I think that's kept us on board. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. I love the fact that you communication. You mentioned there's some very vital things, which has also helped our relationship as well. And at some point in time, we also had some long distance in a relationship because I was also in school. I was schooling in my state, Edo State. He was in Lagos. He was already working. So there's a bit of similarity in our stories there. And I like the fact that you defined what the relationship was all about from, I mean, when he started making his intentions known and more seriously, there was that definition of who are we? What are we doing? Because you see some people, they're just, coasting along and there's no definition to it. And they'll not start saying some people that they are Lord of the Rings, that you just some people even define it, but it just keeps on and on and on. But so I'm happy that even at that young age, you knew what you wanted, you knew what was right, you knew what was wrong, you knew your boundaries. And communication, which is the bedrock of a successful relationship, was going on. I mean, yes, I may have laughed when you said he used to call you 3 times a day on another person's phone, but those communication was what helps, right? Yeah, because
Yeah. What I would say is, I think for anybody listening to this now,
yeah,
be listening to the recorded version, it's always very important, especially if you are just cutting and you are yet to be married, but planning to get married, that to always define the relationship, know where you stand. And one other thing I will add to what you said that helped us was the fact that we look into what the future will look like. And we discussed it.
Yeah.
That's falling under the category of the communication that you talked about. So we had an idea of what the future will look like, what kind of children we'll have, the number of children we'll have, where they will stay, the
Where
kind
would
of
like to stay,
and
exactly.
it's kind of school that we want them to be in. So this goes a long way in defining a lot of parameters that some people just walk into and now just reacting to how the event of the day comes out at every given point in time. So thank you for that. I have to situate that and explain that further so that people can understand the importance of what you have said.
You're absolutely correct. And this is the phase where ideally when people, these days they'll say talking stage. I don't know after talking stage, I don't know what they call the next stage. So if you're in the comment section and you know how they've broken down or phased relationship these days, please tell me. But I know talking stage is like the stage where maybe the man is still toasting and there's no concrete commitments yet. But after it's moved from talking stage to, I mean, a definition stage, I don't know if that's what they call it though. But if it has moved to definition stage, what then Chinwe did is what everybody should be doing: communication. Talk about yourselves, talk about your health, talk about your family, your background, talk about your aspirations, talk about your fears, talk about where you want to go to. And we did that. And beyond talking, we also prayed. Oh my, we invested prayers into our future. And I'm not surprised now that God has helped us this much. I know it's not by how much you prayed, but prayer is good. Prayer is important. So thank you. Well done. That was amazing for people of your age at that time. Now let's move forward further. Now you've been married 15, 16 years, beautiful children. How has the journey been? Are you really enjoying this marriage, both of you?
Microphone.
Okay. Yeah. Let me take a go at it. Yeah.
Mm.
Thankfully, by God's grace, we've been married for over about 15 years plus now. And the journey, though it's not all been with say without any reason, but to a very large extent, God has really helped us. And it has been an amazing 15 years plus journey, and we've really, really enjoyed it. Just as I said, it has not been without some small hiccups and here and there, but so far, God has been helping us. We've had the times when, especially during the early times of our
Yeah,
marriage,
but
during the early times of our marriage, still trying to, sort things out. We had challenges, that through the help of God, God has been able to help us navigate through the many challenges that we have faced. And we've been able to still remain together. And a lot of the things that have helped, was also communication. We learned, during the time we were doing our marriage counseling, how to manage conflict, how to communicate clearly in marriage. Like I remember clearly then, Pastor D, how where we used to go and he used to to teach us then. I can remember, if Pastor D remember too, that he has to come down from Enugu then. We went through some of all those classes and so while you're aware of it and everything. But beyond that, it's about implementation, knowing those things, applying them in our marriages, because the real test comes when you are really in it. And Pastor D could
Mhm.
attest to it that we had some of all those challenges then, when we will come to them and they will encourage us, they will counsel us. And God helping us too, because of the fear of God too in me and other things, I was able to like say, no, even if we had some issues at that time, we're able to like sit down, talk about it, have
Mm.
open and clear communication, and that has helped us a lot. So the
Mm.
journey has been really, really fun,
Mm.
and God has helped us so far in this past
Mm.
15 years plus. And
Mm.
I would say that if I have the opportunity again, or I'll still
Mm.
choose her and I'll still want to
Ooh.
do journey again with her.
Please,
Praise
can
God.
someone help us drop something in the comment section? Let's give them a thumbs up,
Gary,
a clapping
Simon.
emoji, and thank you. Why is phrase?
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, thank you, Godwin. This is what I love to hear.
You know what? I always say if I come back to this life, if it's possible 1,000 times, I
Mm.
said it will still be her.
It's
So,
only me.
are you sure you are not stealing my line?
I mean,
Sorry, I'm coming.
these are beautiful.
Yeah.
If it's beautiful, it's beautiful. I mean, look at Godwin and Chinwe now. If you see them, who would like to get married? And please, Godwin mentioned something. So before they got married, my husband here did their premarital counseling. So you can see that we've been in this business for a very long time.
20 years.
Okay. Yes.
20 years.
Yes, we've been in this business for a very long time and we are absolutely proud of them. It doesn't mean that they've not gone through challenges,
Yeah.
some very tough ones, some mild ones. They will share one or two with us.
Yeah.
But the beauty is that despite it all, they are here sharing their story with us today. So please appreciate them and you just comment them in the comment section. And God will continue to take a relationship from grace to grace, from blessing to blessing in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. So Chinwe, I know Godwin has spoken, but we also love to hear from you. How has it been? 15 years, going on 16. Do you still want to remain married to Godwin when you come back, in your if there is like Godwin said, if he has to come back to life again, is that the same for you?
Absolutely. So, yes, marriage is a beautiful thing, but the reality dawns on you when it's way, way different from dating, is way, way different from whatever happens before, especially if you're a Christian who has decided to like wait, you didn't cohabit. So it's immediately after the wedding, sometimes even what you've been prepared, the whole preparation you have, if you're not careful, it will look like it's not enough to help you through the journey. You will learn some things, but a lot of truth will unfold In fact, when we got married, it was all beautiful until my mom says something. She says that you can't completely know someone until you share a roof with them.
Yeah.
So the moment we started, of course, they will say, see, finish. The moment we started staying, sleeping together, waking up together, the whole calling me 3 times a day. Sometimes I'll be the one and where you have not called today. What's happened?
ET.com.
Yeah. So there'll be those seasons where it looks like, you know, things that the seasons change. There'll be that time when the children start coming in, is as if walk and everything like that. But in all of it, I'm grateful for the fact that our friendship has stayed. So you see that part where we really cared for and about each other, even in the middle of storms, where one person is carrying face, the other person is carrying face, because there are those days where you just look and you feel, am I sure I really looked very well? Am I sure it's this person that I really wanted to marry? But it's been a journey of growth in every sphere of life. We've both grown emotionally, spiritually. We've stood together in different times. When you look around and you know that nobody else, so this person is me and this person. We have to just stick this thing through. And at the end of the day, even when we've turned our backs at each other, we face each other again and say, okay, let's sit down and have this conversation. Sometimes very hard conversations. Sometimes you want to even run away because typically, I think my husband, as you can tell, he doesn't talk too much. He's a quiet on the quiet side, but I'm the one who wants to be who is more expressive. So even then we spent like 2 hours on MTN Cool and talk and talk and talk. My husband wouldn't want to go off the phone those days. But when I got married, one talk, two talk, I'm like, it's the same person. So yeah, you start wondering. And what was I going to say? With conflict resolution, he is on this side where he doesn't like to talk about it. He wants to just sweep it under the carpet for now, as he says. He's like, I want things to cool off first, or I want things to sort themselves. So he's from that school of thought. And I'm just the direct opposite. My own is I like my peace. And when there's unresolved conflicts, I can't sleep well. But I'll just be looking at him. He has dozed off. He's sleeping. This doesn't send me. So I'll get to wake him up. I'm like, let's talk about this thing because I just can't
I
not
can
sit.
relate.
Yeah. So those are some of the reality that dawned on me when I got married to him because I would think, so I had to gradually start learning a lot of things. I had to, grow myself a lot more in so many ways. My emotional intelligence, how not to like, okay, he doesn't want to talk now. Give him that grace, give him that time and say, okay, when can we talk about it? So yeah, it's been a journey of growth. It's been a journey of God's faithfulness, like Malzan said. There's nothing we could have done without God at the center of all of these things, because that's one thing that has kept us going, knowing that we didn't just get married off of the top of our head, but we had God as a foundation. This relationship was built on God's principles, and we wanted to really live that out. So we always would run back to Him as much as we run back to our marriage mentors to seek for counsel. We always sought God's face. And if our prayers, have gone a long way, because there are some situations, some challenges, like we know the devil just targets homes. Sometimes you'll be facing challenges that you don't even understand the roots, you don't know where it's coming from. But going back to that place of prayer and seeking God's face, seeking the Holy Spirit's guidance to walk through it, who should you talk to, how should you navigate, it has all helped us. So we've grown a lot in so many ways, and we give God all the glory.
Thank you very much. There was a comment in the comment section that says, thank you for being vulnerable. I think this is what we love very well. When couples are able to come and make it known to the whole world, anybody that is hearing to know that no, there's no perfect marriage anywhere. We all have different areas that we deal with as a couple. So how we deal with those issues in those areas, I think
Yeah.
is what is more important. And so I just want to draw one or two things from what you guys have said. Goswin said something, Godwin rather, I say Goswin, said something about learning before marriage. You know, even though you learn some things, but by the time you get into the marriage, it looks as if it's like it's more than what we thought about. And you also corroborated that as well. We used to tell people it's more like it's a discovery channel because until you start living under the same roof, you will not get to see some other aspect of someone, not because they are pretending, not because they want to hide that part from you, but because because it's not like you've been living together before the marriage. So if that's the case, then some things you'd have discovered. But we realize that as long you've not, each time you see each other, he just says something. So when you see him, he's well, dressed. The only time you guys see are the time when you're fully kitted and looking beautiful, made up your face. Like now, whether you make up your face or not, I love you so much. But that is the reality. And when you are now married, maybe you now find out that some people did never knew maybe their husband or their wife snore when they get tired. By the time you are sleeping, that's another part of man or woman that you see. Or you now see somebody waking up, the way the person just woke up and you see the face, maybe something can even be coming out of this mind that you have never seen before. I'm just bringing it down as real as possible.
Yeah.
So that's why we call it the Discovery Channel. But one thing that I love very well that you both talked about, you made up your mind. It's like a resolved mind, irrespective of the issue. You are not thinking of alternative way of going your separate ways. The only way you are looking at is how can we resolve it? Even though first time it might not be resolvable, but you've made up that mind that we'll get around to the bottom of this and we'll be able to resolve it and move on. And I think that has actually helped.
Thank you. Thank you. So now I love the trajectory, and I'm not surprised that you are where you are now. So I just want to ask a question. Do you think at any point in time, do you think probably your upbringing played a part in how you approach things? Because I just see that even as a young person, like for you, Chinwe, you knew that you needed to define this relationship, you needed to put boundaries, and Godwin as well. Do you think there was any part that's probably your upbringing, your own family, some of the things you've learned, your values from your own family that you're coming from, played a part in the way you've handled your marriage relationship up until now?
Yeah, I want to say, to a very large extent, my upbringing played a large part in the success of our marriage so far. I'm from an average background with where I grew up in a family that we were taught early to know God, to fear God. I can remember way back my late dad, we were in the deeper life then. So my dad used to we always have this family time to have devotion where he takes us to church and instill the fear of God in us. And so I grew up with that background, though not actually a perfect Christian background, but at least it was a background where the fear of God was instilled in us and we were taught to have good Christian values. So in bringing that into marriage, I knew that, okay, I came from a kind of background where I never saw my dad raise his hand against my mom or even talk with a harsh tone on my mom. So when I got into marriage, and even when we have conflict that thing in me wanted to like react, I would then like remember the words of my dad. Where he used to say, look, you have to respect a woman, or I never, not just his word, but I've seen him demonstrate it over the years that he was alive, that he treated my mom very well. We had this home where we love and support each other to a large extent. So that to an extent helped me too in my marriage, that my parents' marriage worked. They lived into their old age. So therefore, I'm determined with the encouragement of my dad
Mm.
that my own marriage too will work, irrespective of the challenges and everything. Even when I was even in our marriage, when my dad was still alive, he used to like still talk to me and tell me, look, this is how marriage is. So sometimes there could be some ups and downs, sometimes misunderstanding, but learn to know that there is no alternative. Know that
Mm.
you are in it and you have a core responsibility, core duty to make it work. And it is how well you love and take care of your wife that will
Mm.
determine your happiness in that
Mm.
home. So
Wow.
I keyed into that and know that, look, for me to be happy in marriage, I need to treat my wife well and
Mm.
seek or pursue our happiness too in it. For in our happiness, I'll be happy too. So,
Wow.
irrespective of all the different challenges and everything that we'll go to, that upbringing helped me a lot in
Mm.
doing marriage. And so far,
Amazing.
God has really been helping us.
Amazing.
Wow. I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
I love it. But it just shows the power of modeling, the power of parenting. And that's what we also, model to our children. Because one of the ways that you can raise your children is to model how your own life. Let your life be a model of what you are telling them or raising them to be. And that's really, really powerful. Chinwe, do you want to speak to that, or should I ask the next question?
I think it's good she
Yeah,
speaks to
actually,
that.
Okay.
Then I'll also say something briefly
Okay.
for that. Yeah.
okay. So, just to pick up from when my husband finished, he's absolutely right about his family. And
Mm.
I know the role that his family as well, because they're a godly family. There's no perfect family, but this family, one of the things that also, if I'm meeting them, was one of the things that gave me peace. Even when being an Igbo girl, the first daughter, it's difficult for the Igbos to accept for a first child to go and get married in another state. They usually are averse to it. They'll say, you need to marry a fellow Igbo person, stay within.
Mm.
So when the idea of marrying my husband came, there was nothing that I wasn't told. These are Akwa Ibom, is this, their people are this, their people are that. But I was resolved in my spirit that after meeting his family, because I met them, I met his sisters, his brothers, I just knew that these are very loving people. And they treated me like part of their family up till date. Like when my father-in-law was alive, you would think I'm the last daughter in the house
Mm.
because we had that very good. We would sit and watch TV together. He would phone me for medical advice. Even after his doctors would give him prescription, he would like, Chichi needs to come and tell me what this thing is about. So and he's a very sensitive man, bless his soul. Even when things will happen and my husband wants to be, to have that African man ego kind of thing, his dad was quick to notice it and call him to order. He would like call him and say, no, 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 no. If I want, he give us one Daddy gave us one book, one deeper life marriage counseling thing, like that has scriptures and everything. I remember he gave us, he was like, you guys keep this thing. It was an old sheet of paper, the typewriter kind of thing. But he,
Mm.
he gave us that to help us. So for me, um, I had at a young age, I had a lot of very strong resolve about the kind of man I want to marry
Mm.
because I had seen a lot growing up in my environment. I saw how women really suffered, even though they were married, they were suffering like they were single mothers. You would
Mm.
see the women do so much work, and the men just maybe take the money from these petty trades and go and wine and dine and just do whatever. So I grew up in a very busy, complex neighborhood. And I saw a lot of things play out. I can literally pick a few families that really look like what I want to have. Even in church, then, um, I saw one or two families that I looked up to because I see how their children behave. I see how the parents behave. You can see order in that family. You can see love. But in some, I saw a lot more of the not so good
Mm.
examples. And
Mm.
that kind of kept me. in check. I was like, I need to get this right. I can't
Mm.
afford to repeat the cycles or the patterns that I've seen
Mm.
around me.
Mm.
Um, and I think I started reading, I was following the late Pastor Bimbo Dukoya then. I started early
Mm.
to watch her programs on TV.
Mm.
I read her book. I think, is it How to Choose a Life Partner or so?
Mm.
So I started early to expose myself to reading so much about marriage because I was so afraid to fail at my choice of marriage. I had this
Mm.
fear, to be honest. And even when I married my husband, it took a while for me to let go of those things because
Mm.
I was always having this fear that maybe my husband will soon do what I saw this other man
Mm.
do to his wife. So it was trauma that I lived with for a long time that I had to actually heal from. So
Mm.
if at one time you say so because we talked a lot, he knew where some of these things were coming from. And he'd be like, I know you think this way because you've seen XYZ. Well, I'm not going to be that kind
Not
of
like
person.
that.
But I had that fear. And the fact
Mm.
that he could understand that, okay, I had fears. I think that also helped him to know how to try and, behave and just say, okay, she
Mm.
has these fears, but it's my responsibility to make sure she can feel safe with
Mm.
me and know
Mm.
that I'm not going to treat her the way the people that she has seen treated her. So yeah, marriage was one thing that I was very fearful of. And I was really taking my time and trying to do the best that I could do to make the right choice when the time came. So
Thank
yeah, I
you.
was influenced and it affected us the early years of our
Mm.
marriage. I had
Mm.
my own. I'm like, when he's not doing what I think he should be doing, I'm like, oh, you're going to. So I had all those fears. But
Mm.
over the years,
Mm.
he's played a great role to just give me that peace and
Mm.
that comfort. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
external influence and programming.
Yeah.
So programming doesn't just come from inside your family alone, but the environment as well. Thank you so, so much. You said you wanted to share something.
Yes. While some of us have positive motivation
Mm.
that is helping our marriage today, some people
Yeah.
have negative motivation that is
Mm.
affecting their marriage
Mm.
today. I want to just say that if yours is not in the positive light and it's negative light,
Mm.
there's no need to lose hope because their own stories are different, especially Godwin. He has some really positive upbringing experience, and that's what has helped him. We've seen people have scary upbringing experience that are really, really negative, yet they're enjoying their marriage. Why I'm saying this to bring a balance to that if anybody here or listening to us is having that kind of mind, I want to assure you that. And that's why we do what we do. We've helped people move from that negativity into the place of positivity and they're enjoying their marriages now. It's also one of the reasons that we are having this session that it was a burden in our heart for over 2 years that we've been running this now. And we said, because we understand this power of programming, we now said there are a lot of statistics. My wife always talk about this, that in the media, either celebrities or people that are well known, that have large followership, if something goes wrong with their marriage, it's good news. Bad news is good news for the media. And that is projected so much. There's nobody projecting thriving marriages. And that was where we started from. I say, you know what? On our own, in our own little way, we'll be projecting it. And we're going to form an alliance with as many who will be interested to keep that campaign on, that marriage still works. That's why we call it thriving marriages. So that when people hear stories like this, they will know that there are impact, most people's marriages are not perfect, but there's a way they made themselves committed and they are making it thrive. And that's why when people hear this, and we are very, very vulnerable with this, there's hope that is built up in the heart of someone, and that person knows that, oh, I think there will be a light on the other side of this. So let me put more commitment to it. So thank you so much
Thank you
for the vulnerability once again.
Thank you. I'm really inspired by your story. And one thing that keeps resonating in all that both of you have been saying is the power of a made-up mind.
Yeah.
So Godwin had positive experiences that he could refer to that helped in shaping his thinking and programming as to how marriage should be. You had negative external influences
Turned
that,
around.
but you turned it around.
Yeah.
The power of a made-up mind cannot be trivialized in whatever anyone does.
Yeah.
Whether it's in your business or in your marriage or relationship, as we are speaking here today, whatever it is that you're doing, make up your mind that you will succeed, okay? Except you now get to a place where you're in an abusive relationship and you're being pummeled left, right, center, psychologically or physically. But if those things are not the case, that you have issues in your marriage, a lot of them are workable, a lot of them are surmountable. If you go in with the mind that, number one, I'm going to work to ensure this thing works. Number two, I understand that the person I'm getting married to is not perfect. They've been exposed to influences, exposed to different programmings. So if you are here now and you are having challenges in your relationship, please borrow a leaf from Chinwe and Godwin and work on your relationship. Talk to a counselor. And incidentally, Chinwe also does, relationship counseling as well.
Yeah.
So they are a couple that you can reach out to. You can reach out to Chinwe, and I can show you that she will handle your case with all, professionalism that is required, and ourselves as well. Yeah. So, and I like you talk. You mentioned something that I would call psychological safety. Thank you, Godwin, that despite Chinwe's programming, external influences, you were, with the help of God and with your parents' upbringing, you were able to build psychological safety where she constantly felt safe and know that this man is different. She's not going to dish out the same behavior that I saw while growing up. And so, for everyone watching and listening, psychological safety in relationship is really important, okay? And that's something that we all need to strive towards. But let's not talk too much because time is great. They say time runs fast when you're having so much fun. Thank you, Chinwe. And if you have questions, if you have comments, please put them in the comment section and we will take them. Okay. Now, you've shared a lot. I feel you've shared so much already, but it will really be glad if you will really be glad if you could share with us, one or two challenges that you went through. I mean, specific ones that you say, if not for the grace of God, this thing would have torn us apart. This thing would have made us to go our separate ways. Share with us what was it? How did you navigate it? What were the tools or the tips that you employed, to take you through that season of difficulty or challenge?
Yeah, speak.
I can speak.
You can go ahead.
I like the consultative approach.
Hey,
We have
boy.
a unified front, and I love that.
Okay, I'll let me talk on this as one of the really challenging time period in our marriage. And I think she'll bear witness to it, or maybe she might also have similar experience, similar story to that. It might be that. It was when we relocated down to the UK, let's say a couple of years back, no, about 2 years back. I think, but this experience was like in the first few months or few years of our marriage, a couple of years when we relocated down. So it was this the process of settling down, adjusting to life in the UK. My wife came in first, and I joined later, about after 3 months with the kids. So the decision of leaving my, I would say, relatively thriving work business back in Nigeria to the UK was like a difficult decision for me then. But we had to talk things out even before she left because I felt, oh, I was not ready to like come into the UK then to like stay. And the plan was that I'll be in and out, for some time. So, but as God will have it, coming into the UK and over time, I had to like adjust to life in the UK. And it was like, it wasn't an easy experience though. And over that time, I'll say maybe the psychological effect of maybe I was like losing out in my business and my job in Nigeria and adjusting to life in the UK was not an easy task. And some things like was like playing out and we're having some small issues. I mean, we were having some issues in our marriage that at some point it was like having to threaten the foundation of our marriage where I was like about to take the decision that look, I'm not ready to stay back here. It could yeah, I think one of the reasons could just be that maybe I was not like well settled down here, as in getting the kind of job that I wanted to do, and it was impacting on me psychologically and my business. To be honest, this was my experience. So it was like weighing down on me, bringing in some kind of depression. Then,
Mm.
about a couple of years down the line, so it was like bringing some kind of conflict where we had to like talk about um these issues, and it was not like panning out well. But as God will have it, at some of those times, I had to like depend on the Holy Spirit to like lead me that okay, this decision I want to take, is it the right decision? Even in the point of anger, sometimes when I will not talk, just as my wife said, I was in like I'm not the talking type. So when those conflicts come up, I would rather want to see how maybe time will just like make it go. But my wife was the type of person that will want to like say no, let's talk about this, let's talk about it. And to me, I felt that okay, at this point when I'm not like settled to talk about it, if I talk, my voice might be raised and it might compound the whole thing. So I'm the kind of person that want to like wait a bit,
Mhm.
calm down until I in the right frame of mind. But it wasn't so with my wife. My wife wants to let's talk about it, let's address it now and then.
Now.
So I realized that over the years I have to unlearn that part which she will say, oh, it's malice that God is keeping. So, but to me, I wasn't saying that malice. I was just like, to me, it was just like I need to calm down to be in the right frame of mind to talk. But coming to realize it that it was not working out for me. My wife prefers let's talk about this issue. So I had to unlearn that. Though I won't say I'm
Mm.
perfect at it that, oh, I'll always talk at the time I want to talk, but I'm not how I used to be before, where I could be quiet, silent about it. So now I've learned over time that these issues have to be brought up to the front, but I have to talk about it. So I have to learn communication now, being able to communicate, express my feelings. And that was what helped me. And that was what helped us in our marriage to be able to resolve those conflicts and know that, okay, whatever it is, the challenges that I've been going through or that we faced at that time, if I'm able to talk about it, thank God I'm blessed with a loving, supportive wife that will be able to like talk things through and give me the necessary support that I need. So no point brooding over things or keeping things or waiting over because the more I was like keeping over things, it was like even like it was not helping to solve the problem. Instead, it was worsening things because
Yeah.
she cannot read my mind. She doesn't know what was in my
Mm.
mind. So I
Mhm.
learned over time that she wants us to talk about it.
Mm.
And I have to bring myself to that point that
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
don't keep
yeah,
this thing. Talk about it.
yeah.
That as the
Mm.
sooner you talk, we will talk about it. The sooner we get
Mm-hmm.
things resolved. So it
Yeah.
was on learning that part of me as that helped us a lot
Mm.
in resolving the conflict at that time and has helped us manage our conflict better. So I can now say confidently now that I'm a better person through our help
Mm.
by unlearning all those things and learning
Mm.
better way of communicating with her and also seeing how we can forge a better understanding when we talk.
Mm.
Things become easier, things becomes clearer, and we then have a defined purpose where we are going. And it has helped us a lot in resolving issues. So that is just one of the difficult thing that we had that time. And through the help of the Holy Spirit and God's wisdom, we're able to pull through it to where we are today.
Doesn't happen on its own.
No, no. Again, you alluded to communication, being willing to talk things through and resolve issues. And you also talked about conflict resolution. Thank you so much. And I totally agree with you that when you come into the UK, relocation generally is not for the faint-hearted, like, our people will say. But from all you said, if you are willing to face things, talk through them, there's no issue that you can resolve as a couple. Thank you for sharing that with us. Chinwe, over to you.
Okay. So, Wells, how would I put it? At the point when he was saying small, small issues, in my mind, I'm like, did you say small, small issues?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Small.
Yeah, big issues.
It's small issues, but I think he realized and he just maybe just said it in another way. So yeah, he was right to say that I I will share on the same situation or the same
Mm,
issue as one of the major challenges we had that
mm,
nearly, we're like this close to everything
mm,
just breaking down. It was
mm,
not
That's not
small. It
small.
was it was not small, yeah. So
mm,
um but I sit here today in gratitude
mm,
for how far God has brought us. So
mm,
relocating for my husband has never been, you see, it's one of the things that looking back, before we got married, if we had actually even put that on the table, it maybe would have helped me to know that this is his perspective when it comes to relocating. And it's something that I encourage a lot of single people today. If you know that you have in mind to relocate, discuss it before marriage. If it
mm,
happens, then the other person has an idea and they can prepare
mm,
their minds early. So being a
mm,
nurse, it's been from nursing school self that the idea of going to practice abroad has been brewing in my thoughts. And
mm,
that's something that is common amongst nurses typically back home a lot because of course the pay back home is not that good. You can be a nurse for donkey years. In fact, most of the nurses I knew, they would maybe be buying their car when they are retiring.
mm,
So a lot of nurses are looking for ways to leave the country. Some will just end up marrying Yankee. People live abroad to go.
mm,
So that was there. But when I met my husband, we got married, we didn't talk about it. So years into our marriage, I was not satisfied with my income, and I started thinking, is it not better we just, go out so I can practice abroad? But by then, his business was doing well. The guy was not doesn't want to go anywhere. So every time we talked about it, I met this brick wall. It was this kickback of, no, what am I going there to do? So if I want, we had a lot of issues about it because at the point I was seeing him as the enemy of my progress. I'm like,
mm,
would this man not want me to move forward? I want to progress. So I would get really upset about it. We'll quarrel, he would just do his thing, would resolve it. But I think after like 3 years of talking about this issue, yeah, because I know some people could just decide to end it there and just go. But because we
mm,
knew the why for our relationship, I just thought, okay, keep talking about it. Maybe one day he would
mm,
see reason. It was
mm,
difficult. It's difficult for you to be in a place where you know this is where you need to go, but
Mm,
your partner is not buying into that idea, especially when
mm,
if it's the man, it's easy for the woman to buy into it and just follow.
mm,
But if
mhm.
it's the other way around, it's usually not easy for men, African men, to buy into some things that their wives are saying, except it's a man who
Yeah.
is submitted to God and he sees that reason with you. So I think years into line, it was through someone, God had to bring in someone into my husband's life that
mm,
actually was discussing family with him. And he said, oh, my wife is a nurse. And the man was saying to him, your wife is a nurse. What are you guys
Why are
doing
you
here?
here?
She said, no, there's opportunity for her. And this man he was working for this man. The man was his client and opened him up to see reasons why this was a good idea. And I feel like that is just God answering
yeah.
the
Done. Yeah.
prayers rather than
Mm,
me fighting him all the time. God had to
mm,
position someone to
mm,
who I didn't even know
Mm,
to just go and plant that seed of conviction in his heart. And then that was how the
yeah.
journey began. So from someone who didn't want to travel at all, now came to the country. It was so cold. I think everything just blew up in the first winter. So the first winter was not funny at all. So, first winter, a man who has been his own boss, who had boys
mhm,
working for him, he was paying
mm,
people to now start going to work in the cold. He hit the reality hit really hard.
mm,
In fact,
mm,
I can say to you that my husband became like a different person, and I was looking for the man that I married. I was typically saying,
Mm,
is this the same person that I married? What exactly is going on here? Like, he was so irritable. This is somebody who is very gentle, but he was so irritable. Everything, you can't even have a conversation with him. Every slight
mm,
conversation just maybe went south. So I was literally like I was walking on eggshells at this point because I don't know which one I would do. And being a nurse, you don't want to join these statistics of nurses who have brought their husband to the abroad and now disrespected them and marriage now broke down. So I'm very
Yeah.
conscious of that situation.
Yeah.
It's very common and it's nobody sees or knows what happens, especially when the man
Yeah.
is a gentle looking one. So it looks like
Mm-hmm.
the woman is the
He's a
noisemaker, she's a
troublemaker.
troubleshooter and everything. So you know, the Holy Spirit was my help throughout this time. They were difficult
Lord.
times. They were really difficult. In fact, at a point we felt like this thing it won't work anymore because we're almost losing our peace of mind. It was like, but someone had to stand firm for the children. I could see him going through a crisis in his life that I knew he needed me to be there. He needed me to support him through. At the point I said, maybe just go back to Nigeria if that makes you happy. Because I just wanted him to be happy. I was like, if that makes you happy, just go back. It's fine. We can communicate over the phone. When you feel better, you can come back. I know it wouldn't be easy for me, but I just wanted him. I knew he was not he wasn't he
He
was
wasn't
things were not
happy.
right. Yes, he wasn't happy. And I was like, okay, just go back. Because the plan was I would be coming and going. So no, I didn't want to now go back again then now. But yeah, it was one of the major, major challenges that we've had in our marriages. And sitting here to see that God has brought us through that season. And we have grown from that through that season. Like I think now we're more connected than we were even before the whole thing happened, before the whole crisis. It was, a man being in the middle of his age where he's thinking, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And he's starting his life from the scratch. So as I say this, I'm saying to a lot of women who might be in that situation, get help because I had to seek counsel. At that point, the home was not the safe haven it used to be because everyone was now like walking on eggshell. And I was very worried about our children. I didn't want any of that to affect them at all in any way. But yeah, we sought help, we sought counsel, we spoke to people. In fact, I had to reach out because one thing that my husband can attest is that he's not the one who go and call anybody to help us. So if we have issues, my husband he's not wired to reach out for help. But on the other side, I'm the one who knows, this one has gone beyond both of us. We need a mediator. We need someone. And even as early as Tawa would attest, I'll be the one who will reach out those days in Nigeria to say, this is happening. So yeah, I reached out to one or two people who I thought he would listen to. And that was not without me praying. I had actually stayed in the place of prayer for a long time. In fact, I would go on some prayer retreats for my marriage, for my home, because I knew like the devil was just after this one to add it to one of the statistics of broken home. And I had to stand in the gap that this will not be. It won't happen.
Hallelujah.
It was hard. And I know so many women just throw in the towel because you can get to breaking points where, as a woman, you think the man should be leading and you're not seeing that leadership in that time. But the truth is that many times these men are just so broken that they don't even know they need help themselves. So
Absolutely.
it was me reaching out for help. It was me also praying for him and being there for the kids. those moments nearly broke me. But I'm grateful that the Holy Spirit directed me to the right people to speak to. And by the time they started reaching out to him, those walls, the clarity came in. He was now seeing reason. He was now being able to speak up more and say, this is how I feel. I feel like I'm losing out. I feel like my life is just, on a standstill. I don't really see lights. I don't really. So men go through a lot as well. And the fact that they don't speak up, sometimes their wives don't also know what's happening to them. And if you're a woman, you're just expecting him to do this, to do this, to do that. He's struggling. So I think because maybe the knowledge that I've exposed myself to, I've had trainings in emotional intelligence, I've had taking courses in so many things, really helped me to navigate that season. And yeah, to the glory of God, we are here. And we've gone through that season. We've grown a lot from that.
Mm.
My husband he has learned so much from the whole entire experience. He's a much more better person. I am more even a better person myself. His anger management, but he had to, when you're vulnerable and you say, I know these are the areas where I'm struggling and I need help in these areas. Couples have to learn to be vulnerable to one another. It doesn't matter whether you're the man or the woman, you're there. Nobody wins in a marriage. It takes a team. I don't win if on my own. He can't win on his own. So we have to win together.
Together.
And I think it's something that I'm happy to, guide people, because I know a lot of people go through that situation where they just feel, what, and because they don't have that staying power, or they don't know what direction to turn, they just think that the exiting it is the solution. By the end of the day, it's not, because there's a lot of consequences that comes from that, especially if it's because of crises like this, where there's no domestic violence or things like that. But it's because of certain stretches of adaptability, struggles, and things like that here. It can be worked on. It can be managed with a lot of empathy, because that was one thing. I became more empathetic for him because I could see what he was going through. I had to be there, and I had to let him know that, see, we're in this together. Let's walk through. And so we thank God.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. So beautiful, amazing, and powerful. As both of you were talking, from when he started and you started, one thing kept coming to mind. We have to constantly be dead to the old so that we can be open to the new. And, the common Chinese proverb that says that for you to continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, he said, is one of the definitions of insanity. So we could see intentionality in this marriage. We could see vulnerability in this marriage. We could see teamwork in this marriage. We could see supportive personality in this, and we could also see that, once you come to that place of awareness, then you want to do something about it. When you're aware that, I have this area as a weakness, then I think I need to do something about that. And that personal development aspect is also a very key one. What the both of you have said now, I'm telling you, is good is coming from you, because we've seen this same thing destroying families, breaking homes, and they are not together as we speak today. We're not saying this to slight them, we're just saying this to let people know that you can go through this and still come out more bonded. Like you say, you are more connected even than what used to be before. So thank you so much. I know a lot of people that will listen to this after now will really, 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 really be blessed. And even those that are on the call right now, I believe you are getting blessed, enlightened, and empowered. So see something, we have seen that kind of hand emoji there. You're seeing an amazing. So please just drop some comments there as you can see in this session. So thank you so much.
Thank you. This last bit really, really is inspiring, and I'm happy. I'm grateful for both of you. I'm grateful for both of you. If you have any question for Chinwe and Godwin, please, you can put them in the comment section, or you can even unmute yourself to speak. Okay. They have shared from their hearts. And I am touched and blessed. I have a beautiful, powerful, solid marriage, but even with what they've shared, I can relate to an extent, because we also passed through some of the things. Again, like I said, relocation here is not easy, but from what they've shared, I have been so inspired and so blessed, and I know that and there's nobody that will listen to this recording that will not take something out of it. So a big thank you. I'm not going to take time trying to expatiate on the things you said, because you narrated it so beautifully. And there's nobody that will listen, that will not understand. Okay. And the tips you've shared, beautiful. You reached out to people, you read books, you got people to talk to with your husband. I mean, All clearly stated. Amazing. Thank you. If anybody doesn't have any question, we are almost at the end, and it's been a very beautiful session. Now that you're in this phase, it looks like you've gone over a whole lot of storms, climbed a whole lot of mountains, and all that, and you're here now. Looks like, there are different seasons of marriage. So it looks like you're in the summer season of your marriage, things are blossoming. What advice do you have for people who are probably going through storms? Someone have a question, so I'll pause now and take that question. So before we then round off with my question.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I have a question. While you faced the challenges, how did you handle it with the kids? Okay.
Okay. So during that time, when someone is going through all of that, especially like speaking for my husband, the way that he was at the time, he he wasn't really there. When someone was he was in that place where he couldn't really be present because his mindset and everything, he was just struggling to even understand what was happening to him at the time. So for me, I still had to hold that for. I think it was during that period I designed the family vision and mission statement, the family values on my own. Yeah, because I had joined this parenting academy because I just said, you know what, whatever happens, I always pray to God that I don't fail the children, that someone has to actually stand to show these children the right example. So even while all that was happening, I tried never to speak ill of him to the children. I even would call the children and say, let's pray for daddy. So we were praying for him. I was getting the children to pray for him. So I sat the children down. I would have time with them. I would created the family core values. And then I even sent it to him. Even though I worked on it on my own, I shared it with him. So when I also saw information on what was happening, maybe if I know something that will benefit him, and information I see on YouTube or a webinar that I know, okay, is for men, I think you'll benefit, I'll share it. But with the children, I was praying with them, never spoke ill of dad around them, made them always know that their dad is here. Some things they will come to me for, because he was even a little bit withdrawn from them without really knowing that, he wasn't really there. He loves, my husband he loves, if you leave him, he was going to have like 10 children because he loves children. And he loves our children so much. So they were always going to him, but that time there was a bit of, and for our oldest son, I had to get our son a mentor because there were things that he was becoming a teenager. And as a mom, I know that there were things that I may not be able to discuss with him as a woman. And I didn't want him to lose out on that part. So some of the areas where I couldn't fill in at that time, our son has a mentor. So I got him a mentor, and he would attend Zoom classes. He would have his mentor talk to him about his body changes and everything. So it was a lot, but I had to stand in that gap. What else with the children? Yes, I made sure whatever, maybe I was on the quiet side. Like typically, I used to be the one who talks more before, but in that season, my mouth was now, I could not talk. And that was because I wanted the environment, I wanted to keep a sane environment, because if it's on the high and I'm also on the high, everywhere will be hot. You don't use fire to quench fire. So I had to borrow myself that wisdom of, okay, if he is easily irritable, you have to like, okay, mellow. So I made the children just feel happy that home was safe. And when he comes in, obviously you will notice that's douse of the excitement around because he has just come in. But I tried my best to make sure the children never noticed what was happening. Sometimes when I try to keep it away, he's the one who maybe will not be able to contain it and wants to let it go out there and not be begging, please, let's keep children out of it. So yeah, a lot of that. So I really was intentional with our children, and to see that today my husband now, calls the family meeting every month. He now goes and gets, because I framed the family vision and mission, I put it in a frame after I had sent it to him. He just gave me a thumbs up, didn't say much about it then. But today he picks it up from where it is hung on the wall, and he sits with the family heads and, takes us all through it all over again and acknowledged that that was something I did that he's grateful for.
Oh.
And he says it to the children. So yeah, it's one person has to. Sometimes the leadership is not always about whether you're a man or a woman. Sometimes that person who is more aware, that person who has the grace and the capacity, the
For that
staying power, the
season.
For that season,
tolerance has to hold the fort
Fourth, yeah.
in that season.
Yeah.
Because if you just look at the man and say, okay, I'm the woman, I can't do, if he can't do it, let's
Let
leave
it
it.
be.
Everything will fall apart.
Mhm.
So it can be a lot on you, but I'm grateful for the grace. And I look back, I'm grateful that God helped me through that. And now that he's good, he just looks back and he says to the children, oh, mom has done this, mom has done that. I said, it's fine. I did it for all of us. Yeah.
Well done. Well done, Chimia, and well done, Godwin. It's one thing, especially as an African man, to to recognize that someone stepped in at a certain point in time, but to publicly even acknowledge it, and that speaks to his humility and the fact that he appreciates the things that you did at that point in time, and so and that's a strong indication of his own character. So well done to both of you, and I see that that's a teamwork, okay, teamwork, and that's what the Bible says. When one is weak, the other lifts up. When the other person is down, the other person will lift up, and both of you have aptly demonstrated teamwork in marriage as it should be. These days, I'm not. Yes, the man remains the head of the home as the structure that God has orchestrated, but leadership is not in title. Leadership is in grace, knowledge, exposure, and what you know that you have the capacity to do. The Bible says, to him that knows how to do good and refuses to do it, to him it's sin. If as at that time he needed all that clarity, he needed to walk through that path to come to that acceptance so that he can own his own in this new season, and you knew what you needed to do and you didn't do it because they say, what's my own? Is it not the head of theirs? And if you don't do it, then we're looking at each other now. God would have held you accountable, because to him that knows how to do good and refuses to do it, to him it is sin. But I'm grateful for both of you. Well done. Please help me appreciate Chinwe and Godwin. This is a beautiful session. Thank you. God bless you, Godwin. Thank you. Thank you for your humility. Thank you for the grace to allow your wife, to shine and be who God has called her to be. And I know you are still doing that, because about a month ago, I spoke at her conference, the Radiant Women Conference, and it was a powerful conference. Thank you for being solidly behind her, for being the man that you are, solid man, confident man, secured man. Well done, well done, well done. So I was going to ask a question, but time is fast spent. So let me just wrap it all up. Yes, they're amazing. I love them. So advice, what advice do you have? I mean, should I even ask for advice, because you said so much. Let's not bother about advice again. How do you relax? How do you relax? We said a lot of serious things. How do you relax and you chill?
Yeah, that
Let me
was.
see.
A consultation.
This is a consultative marriage.
Well,
Consulting.
it's like a difficult, not really a difficult one to see, but we relax by after we had a hard day's job, a hard period. We just go out as a family. Sometimes we go out of town, to just go and spend some time out there with the kids, have fun, eat some good food, have some good drinks, and also at home too. We just take the kids out to the park too, where we have fun, we relax, and also we have this time, talking out family time where we spend time together, quality time. And for both of us too, that also sometimes when we want to relax, we just make the kids stay out there and we just talk just between ourselves. We have real deep talk, deep conversation over drinks and food, and just like that to relax. And also in the future too, we are planning out how we could also go out on holidays, when hopefully the kids will be out of school then and the time is just right. So that's how we relax.
Thank you.
You want to say it?
He has refused to take me to Maldives because I said that's where I want to go and relax.
I said that plan is in the pipeline.
Come
Yeah.
on now.
See?
Trust him.
But don't mind us,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Life can really be busy. The truth is, life can get busy, and for us, I think is one area that we're actually working on to make it more regular, to make it more regular and more and plan it better, really. Because sometimes we, on our own, we may not go out. We don't really go out too much, that much, really. But we try to enjoy each other's company. I think that's one thing that we both enjoy. And when we want to, we just talk about funny things, and we like to speak pidgin English when we want to really come down to our friendship level. So we don't speak proper English. So we speak pidgin English because there are some gists that we enjoy better
Can only be
when we
sweeter with pidgin.
you get. So yeah, so we just go to our pidgin English. Our children will just say, what are they saying? What are they
What are
saying?
they
Like that.
saying?
You don't know pidgin English. So yeah. Yeah, we try and spend time together, just catch up. Sometimes people think my husband is not funny, but he is very funny. He can just crack up jokes from the past, some things, and yeah. Yeah, so we enjoy each other's company a
Have
lot
fun.
when we chat and we just or watch a movie sometimes. Even though he doesn't like me eating popcorn, but
Mm.
like today I told him to buy the popcorn. When he was writing, he was like, "Why do you want popcorn?" I said, "Please just buy it from me. It's once a week." So yeah. So that's how. So there's still room for improvement in that area in terms of
Mm.
being able
Thank
to
you.
really, really relax. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We will draw the curtains here. It's a beautiful conversation, and we can go on and on. And I know that we have a question in the comments, and I would like us to take that question. But at the same time, we are mindful of time. So I want to say thank you. We draw the curtains here. Um, we would then ask that the lady who asked the question, if you don't mind, if you can stay back for a minute or two, and if Chinwe and Godwin is happy to stay back, we can look at your question together. But any other person who who have need to log off, please, we are happy for you to log off. You've done amazing staying with us for well over 1 hour or even 1 hour 30 minutes. You've been here, it's been engaging, we've been loving your comments, and Chinwe and Godwin has just been dishing out valuable content, things that, I mean, if we were to do this as a masterclass, I don't know how much we would have charged. So a big thank you to everyone for logging on and staying on and for engaging. But most importantly, thank you, Chinwe and Godwin. You have bared it all. We love your vulnerability. You have really inspired a whole lot of people, and many more that will be watching. God bless you. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful weekend.
But we are not pursuing you if you want to stay. But I think officially we want to
Yes.
do it so that it's not that we are not respecting the time. We've gone way
Yes.
above. So, but at the same time, somebody might just want to wait to hear.
So if you want to wait for us to tackle that question, please, but if you have need to log off, thank you. We'll see you next month. And don't forget past my husband's master class. It's very important. We'll pass on we'll send out more communication about it, but it's really good webinar. If you subscribe and you attend, your family will thank you for it. Okay.
Thank you.
So yes. So the question here says, it says, how do you cope as a wife where the husband is always busy with his phone almost all the time, especially when he's not working? The little time at home, he is with phone. So I think, so the question is, how do you cope? How do you cope? How do you cope as a wife? That means there's no quality time. The husband is not giving the family quality time. The attention is not there.
So even when they are home or at work, then something is still taking more of the time.
Yes, he's always with phone.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not an ideal situation. That's not how marriage should be. Yeah. But especially if your love language is quality time. Yeah. So Chinwe Godwin, do you have any advice for her? She's basically asking how should she cope? Okay.
Okay. Um, like you said, it's not an ideal situation.
Mm-mm.
Being away to work and then the little time you have, because split the day into 8 hours. By the time you sleep for 8 hours or seven, go to work for another 8 hours or seven, bathe, eat, and all that, maybe attend to other things. You have very little time to spend together as a couple,
Yeah.
which I believe any intentional couple should maximize. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, it takes a team to do that. So in that situation, for me, I think there is a reason why this person is hiding away in their phones, because sometimes it's just an avoidance kind of thing. They're trying to just bury themselves into something else. So, what is that other thing that they're burying themselves into? How well do you know this person? How has he always been? Has he always been someone what's his life like on the whole? What are the things that interest him that that knowing somebody can really tell you, okay, this is what this person is likely doing. It's like if we're at home now, like me and my husband, and he's on his phone. I know I don't need to ask him what he's doing on his phone because I know he's either chatting with business in Lagos or his class thing. I can tell you some of the things that he's most likely doing on his phone.
Doing.
Yeah. And that is not all through the time that he's back from work. The same thing with me, because he knows I do a lot of things with women. When I'm on my phone, he knows, like we even chat about what we are doing. So that
Mm-hmm.
brings it to the open. So when I'm on my phone,
Yeah.
I say, this person chatted me, I'm just trying to respond. Or sometimes I'm doing a voice note, you feel comfortable. But if being in the dark and not knowing why this person is hiding away in their phone, I think it calls for concern. And it might not be one that, I don't know how you've approached this. That's the person asking the question. I think it's something
Yeah.
that has to be approached um, with in wisdom, not confrontation, but letting, like in communication, we have what we call the using the I statement, where
Mm.
you're presenting the case as it affects you and the relationship that they are part of.
Mm.
Yeah, actually.
So it's just asking their, okay, I know it's difficult because you want to really shout on top of your voice. You want to just go and shout at this person. So all these things we're saying is really not that easy. But it's making up your mind, asking the Holy Spirit for help to say, okay, I want to have this conversation. And you ask them, please, can we talk? I have something that's been bothering me that I would like to discuss with you. And it has to do with our relationship. If they are committed to that relationship, I believe they would be able to give you that audience to want to listen and then bear it rather than saying, you are always doing this, you are always doing that. It's true, that's what they're doing. But you want to come from the approach where you're like, I feel this way. This is my observation that
Mhm.
you spend most of the times, and I feel like I'm not being seen in this. You find a way to put it to them and see if that bypasses their conscious resistance and they can hear what you're saying
Mm.
and understand what you're saying. But if you've tried that and that is not working, I think you now need to get someone else before things go really bad. Before things get really bad, it's important to get a professional counselor to step in and maybe just highlight these things, because there are just some things that, especially for young couples, they don't really know how to navigate. And don't say, there's this thing that we say in African culture, don't bring third party. I don't think that's not true. And a lot of marriages have gone south because of it. So you need a third party. God is even the foundation, not a third party. You need the Holy Spirit. And then
Yeah.
God comes through human beings as well to
Mm.
save marriages. And I believe that's what most of us who are into the family life space, like, Pastor Dile and Sister Owa and myself, this is what we do.
Yeah.
We are the hands and feet of God. We are the saviors
Mhm.
that God have placed through our own knowledge and experiences. So reach out to
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
and see um, how this person can neutralize or be a mediator, so that way the person can communicate what you are trying to say to your spouse in a way that they understand, and also communicate what your spouse, because there's so much in that silence and in that hiding behind the phone. It's not just being on the phone. There's so much that needs digging into to find out the root cause of why they do that.
Thank you so much. I think you answered it brilliantly. There are there are many sides to this, and I think if you don't mind, we can take that conversation further after now, until we're able to ask certain questions. Gratefully, she mentioned some of those probing questions that can help you reflect. And if you've not done that, I think the first step is to go back and try to do that. Then after that, if things are still not going on the way it's supposed to be, then I think please reach out. Please reach out. Thank you so much.
Summarily, have a conversation. Communication does a whole lot of magic. Okay. And if you're happy to reach out to us, we're going to put our contacts in the comment section. So you can reach out to us. We have emails, we have phone numbers, we have our social media handles. Reach out to us through any of these means, and we'll be happy to, talk this through with you as well. And then Chinwe, if you don't mind too, if you can also put in your contact, so that people can also reach out to you. If not just for this question, but I mean, you've spoken beautifully. You and Godwin have demonstrated how your experience and commitment. I mean, that's what's emulating and keen into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
There it goes. So wait for her to get in there. So you can just quickly copy it out before we shut the meeting down.
Amarachi, are you happy with the response you've gotten? I don't know if she's still here. Amarachi, are you happy with that response? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, info at Chinwe. Fantastic. Yes. Great. She is okay. Thank you, everyone. Next month we'll come with a topical issue where we break down, we teach on it, teach you the theory and all the I don't know how to say it. That will be a teaching session. We won't have a couple in, but today we've had Chinwe and Godwin, and it's been beautiful. I mean, beautiful in every sense of the word. Thank you so very much. Have a beautiful week. Have an amazing week, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Give me.
Okay. Okay.